Good evening, welcome to the November 27th meeting of the ARPA Committee. Are you okay? So tonight's agenda, we're going to cover several things that were on the published agenda, and I just get rid of mine. So, calling the meeting to order. We do have a quorum tonight, so that's a good thing. Take some action on minutes.
Thank you.
You ready, Dan?
So we have two sets of minutes, July 12th and July 19th. So we need a motion to approve or amend July 12th. We'll start with.
I motion yes.
Motion from Nadia.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Nadia, seconded by Ken. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Unanimous.
We have the July 19th minutes.
Motion?
I have just a question on that.
Okay.
On number 3, my recollection was that we would make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen about applications be open to organizations not part of town government. It wasn't that they would make the recommendation.
I think it was because Charlie took it to the board that following
Yeah, because we had expressed
following
some
week, and
concern.
the Board of Selectmen voted to allow applications from outside
Which is
organizations.
moot point then, so I just thought that as a technicality, we recommended that they do that, so,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay,
fine with me. Well, motion to accept.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous again. All right, any other reports, Ken?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, so the next thing on the agenda was to review applications that have been submitted. So I thought to do that, we'd do A, B, and C that I have here on the agenda. And Melanie's spreadsheet, which I have right here, I think is probably the best way to do it.
A little easier probably than the whole packet.
Pardon me?
Probably easier than flipping through the
Oh,
packet.
yeah, definitely. So essentially, I took some highlights out of it. There's more things that you want to add as we go through this, speak up, but first thing was to identify the total funds, the spent funds, and what's currently available, so we know really what we're working with for money. So the current total funds is 4.2 million plus the other numbers there. We've already spent 729,000 or so, which leaves available 3.5 million to spend. So, and our total applications are over $4.2 million. So obviously, some things aren't gonna make the cut.
And we have
Nice.
to take into consideration that a lot of the applications won't fall under the Plymouth County money, which is the largest bucket of money.
Right.
So that means even in a perfect world, if they, if we had exactly the same money as what we had applications, we wouldn't be able to approve them all because they wouldn't all fall in the right places.
Okay, good point.
Should we move those out?
So I'm still, and yes, we can. It's not cut and dry. Like, it's not very, I've reached out to a couple people. I did send an email out because I think a lot of the applications that were for outdoor items were checked off that they qualify under the Plymouth County money. So I did reach out, and they talked to one of the firms that they're working with, and it basically was like maybe an outdoor activity could qualify, but it's a stronger application if the outdoor activity applies to a disadvantaged group. So a group that was, I don't know if harm's the right word, but a group that COVID hit harder than another group. So maybe the senior center project, you could make the argument that seniors could have been a disadvantaged group during COVID because they were in a higher risk category. So maybe doing a project at the senior center might fall under it. But it would be something where I think we'd have to look at our top projects and go back to them for more information of whether we can fit any of the projects into that category. So we can't just say, oh, because it's a baseball field and it's an outdoor activity, it doesn't qualify under the public health benefit of the Plymouth County money. I think maybe the signage might be able to, because there's a caveat in there for distributing information to the public. So I'm wondering if the signs might fall under that, because that's what they're for. I want to look at the teachers of whether that can fall under it. I forgot to do that today. But I think we're going to have a harder time with some of the projects getting them to fit into the Plymouth County money. So it's going to be, once we identify maybe the ones we want to specifically ask about,
Yep.
that we can go back to them to get more information.
Makes sense.
Because the money that we have as a town is less, but it's a lot broader usage.
See, I was struck by the fact that most of these applications only have one bid.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
I guess I relate it to what I did for a living. I used to try to get 2 or 3 bids.
Yep.
So that's, not that that's wrong, because you may end up with only one bid anyway, but it just seems like it eliminates any kind of competition for
But
prices.
you're right, though, because we might,
Run into a problem with
we'd have to look to see what the regulations are of whether we're required to have more than, if the project went forward, would it be required to go out to bid or to get quotes at least from 3 people? So that's something to keep in mind.
Makes sense.
I know with the ambulance that we got, Plymouth County had to get all of the documentation that we had, and that, I think it was from like a state bid, so it was a lot, like, more clean cut, than having to go out and get 3 different bids. We could just show that it came from the state or federal contract. But they did ask for all that.
Yeah, there's another thing that stood out to me. I don't know if anybody's broken down the numbers here, but if you look at it, it's like 97% of the money being requested is from the town, 3% is from residents or the private sector. I thought that was really out of whack.
Yeah, definitely, the applications didn't come in from,
Is it because of the way we publicized it, or didn't, or?
I don't know. I don't know where it was publicized, or does anyone know?
I thought
Oh,
he
it
said
was,
from the
it was,
town.
yeah, it was, I know it was
Town
sent
site.
out from the website.
Yeah.
On there. I don't know how much,
Yeah,
what they did
I
on
only
that.
saw it on the town website. I didn't see any other places.
I mean, the town at this time doesn't have a Facebook page.
Right. I don't know if it was mentioned at selectmen's meetings or.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I
But-
would say,
I'm not sure either. I'm not.
Who watched, I mean,
Right.
how many
You're not
people actually
gonna-
watch those, especially over the summer?
Right.
It's just an observation.
Yeah.
I noticed that too, so share with you as well.
any other general impressions that other people had, or?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, mine in general, I feel like many of these applications are a real stretch from what the intention of ARPA funding was put into place for. And not many made
Criteria.
a very totally crystal clear story of how it was impacting those affected by COVID and groups affected by COVID and solving problems. I mean, there were plenty, when I went through the abridged advice today, public communication efforts, enhanced behavioral health services in schools. Those are things that they definitely did, but, I mean, to Melanie's point, some of this outdoor stuff,
Would be a very big
I have a
stretch.
hard time, I mean, I don't know how replacing a backstop at a baseball field, how that ties to COVID.
Right. And that's why I don't know that we'd be able to make that argument for any of the Plymouth County money for a lot of the items. But I think, like you said, just the spirit of the program, I don't know how, you know, which applications do and do not have like the community impact that we'd, or the community benefit that we'd like to see the money go towards, but it's for all of us to,
Yeah, I had the
talk
same
about it.
impression, Dan.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of it looked to me like, you know, the money's out there, so we'll ask for it, and then we'll try to justify how it fits into the program.
Yeah, which was the opposite what we were told to do. I mean, our job, so.
Mm.
Right.
true, I think if we go back to that grid that we had, that
Yeah,
a lot of them wouldn't score very high on the grid.
I wouldn't.
And,
I think
mean,
some of them would,
Yeah, some of them are,
yeah.
and they're good, but for the most part, I think it's gonna be hard to prove that.
I think the biggest one in there, the $1 million for the turf, a softball field and a practice field. I mean, say practice field's gonna have the turf, that's kind of really a stretch.
Right.
But even that project has to go to a higher level of documentation and stuff. Because it's $1 million, when you're $1 million up, I'm sure
Yep.
they'll just drop it down $1,000 or something, but.
Oh, yeah, I mean, over a certain, like 25,000 or so, it all kind of goes to the top level of,
Well, according to this
Is
thing,
there
there's
another one
three,
there?
there's
Okay.
3 levels of,
okay.
and, you know, it's like,
Yeah, I'm
Less
thinking
than a
on the
million, a
state
million,
level,
and-
so that's probably,
and so, but reality is, I mean, how much sense does that make? Like, I mean, the netting on a baseball field is gonna do what for COVID? Or
right.
just fight COVID, or to address something that happened with COVID? I mean, I think we're all saying the same thing, I think we have the
Well,
same impression.
I don't know
Well,
if we
we-
can say necessarily that it has to have something to do with COVID, because like the wastewater, we're using part of it towards the sewer lot connection. That doesn't necessarily, no one can say that that relates directly to COVID, but it's one of the specified uses of the money.
Right,
So just kind of keep that in mind, that it doesn't necessarily have to be related to COVID, but to fit in one of the buckets that ARPA specifies. Which I don't know how they decided what their buckets were gonna be.
Well, but I think the problem with their application, I think, is that for the netting, they checked that the funding category is supporting public health.
And I think that might have fallen under the idea that, I think for the CARES money, if it supported like an outdoor space, that with CARES money, they were pretty lenient, and you could accept like the enhancement of outdoor space as
Yeah.
under the CARES fund, but I don't think ARPA as easily does that,
I agree.
unfortunately. It would be nice if it did, but under the money that we have in the town's bucket from the state, you can probably get most of these through, but we don't have enough money to get them all through.
couldn't get very many of them through, really.
No,
No.
I mean, just,
'cause that's the smaller bucket anyway.
any other impressions from any, Gigi?
I didn't get things.
You didn't get this stuff.
No. They were available at the town
Yeah,
administrator's office. I'll give them
like I
Rebecca.
sent the
Tell you what.
email out saying you
Yeah,
could pick
pick
them
it
up.
up. My bad. No, it's
You-
okay.
It's all right.
You can
I
look
did
at
mine.
mine, but just don't copy my notes. No, you can't.
Thanks.
Don't take credit for them. I'll blame. That's the order I received them to.
So one of the
Okay.
thoughts I had was, you know, why isn't anyone addressing the fact of what it's doing with COVID-19, but that doesn't matter at all, really?
It depends on what bucket you're trying to fit the money under. Like I said, like with the wastewater project,
Right.
or broadband project, doesn't have to address COVID, but that's one of the buckets that ARPA said you can spend money in. The public health benefit doesn't necessarily need to address COVID, but maybe a disadvantaged group from COVID.
Yeah, I think it says it right here that if you identify a COVID-19 public health or economic impact, you have to can identify impact to a specific household, business, nonprofit, or to a class of households, business, or nonprofit, or identify disproportionate impacts or more severe impacts to a specific beneficiary or to a class. And that's where I think a lot of these
I'm missing.
don't tell their story
Right.
as to how was that impacted, and I don't know what the,
Like I said, I think it's probably comes from the difference between ARPA and CARES,
yeah.
is that it might have fallen, it might have been allowed under CARES, but not necessarily under ARPA.
I'm wondering. I was just trying to look back at the notes that I had from,
I had sent you, did you get the email too that I sent you that had from someone at, what was it, CLA, had, that, find the wording that they used?
oh, John has it printed, I think, the one that you sent to Plymouth County.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then one of their. A little convoluted.
They-
We had.
My notes from when the county commissioners were here, it says, in response to the public health care tied to the pandemic, in quotes, that things not covered under CARES.
Mm-hmm.
So, could be the
So
differentiation.
maybe we just gotta get a clarification there.
So this says, they've seen some applications come through for the purpose of providing open green spaces or similar, which I think some of our items kind of fall under. We typically recommend they fall under 2.22 strong healthy communities, which does require the applicant to report whether the project primarily serves a disproportionately impacted community or not. It's not strictly required that they solely serve a disproportionate impacted community, but makes for a stronger project narrative to incorporate how it serves such a community, or how the project would benefit the community as a whole. Let's see if there's anything else you have on.
So, you know, reading through these, a couple of them really, I don't, we want to change the subject or not, but just to move a little bit, a couple of them jumped out at me as probably qualifying for this disproportionate effect on a population. And the one for the playground with kids on the spectrum, you know, adding things, that seemed like it's almost a no-brainer. That would be like, you know, it's not a
Mentioned
huge
that one to
amount.
Dan that I thought, I mentioned that one to Dan that I thought that was possibly a strong application.
Yeah, so I mean, if we could maybe just move a few of these and just kind of like, you know, maybe focus on the ones that look like they're ready to move and kind of
Yeah.
ask questions on the other ones. Just my opinion too. The other one that I was thinking of too was, well, again, we talked about the COA, but the playground was one, and even something like the outdoor movies, you know, that you're talking about bringing people outdoors. We're talking about spending a little bit of money, we're talking 13,000.
Right.
And, you know, enhancing community activities outdoors, again, you know, with the idea that we've all been cooped up for 3 years, you know, so. And then the last one had to do with the Patrolmen's Association, because that seemed to fit under some of the premium pay qualifications, but I don't know if there's roadblocks or impediments in that. That's a little,
I think the Plymouth County guys suggested that you have to do that because if you pay one group, you have to pay everybody less than them also.
that's what I thought, right. Yeah, that would be the impediment,
Yeah.
the major impediment. But those other two I thought were a little more clear-cut.
The other one I thought that would, and I don't know if we need signs at every building in the town, but if a sign at town hall, if there was a public health emergency to have, or if they were having vaccination clinics, things like that could be advertised. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if we need one at town hall on Central right next to it, but.
Right.
Right.
Maybe
And
town
Mitchell
hall
right
and
up the
Mitchell
street.
Right,
Road.
right, but I think the town hall, I drive through other towns and I always see Halifax, you know, theirs is up, and Whitman's, I see theirs when I'm driving through Whitman Center.
As they pointed out in the request is, we used to have one there, but we put the 9/11 memorial up where it was.
Right.
But it wasn't an electronic sign either, but we'd have probably evolved to that by now if we
Right.
had done otherwise, but I think overall in the request, I'd like to think about setting up a schedule or a strategy of how we're going to do it. We're gonna do it from get the biggest ones through first. I think to try and cherry pick one or two at a time at a meeting is, it could work, like, you know, for these two, it might be the right thing to do, but I think overall, we wanna think about a strategy. Do we try to do all the school stuff? Do it by organization, or do it by cost, or complexity, whichever way you wanna call that, but to set up, and then try to set up a schedule with the people, have them come in and talk to them, and then we identify to them that, well, according to this isn't covered on CARES, so it would be covered under ARPA, or vice versa, or, you know, this would have been, but it's not covered now anymore. You know, whatever that take is that we have, and have them kind of explain their project in depth to us as a committee, and then go back and discuss amongst ourselves, you know, what we wanna do with that, and vote on it at a future date. And I think it'd be more organized to do it that way, and it'd be easier for the other people to plan. And then as we do the first couple and people see how we're doing things, then they know how to prepare themselves for the meeting.
Is there any benefit to eliminating some right off the bat? Clear the deck, so to speak, you know, clear the atmosphere?
I don't think it'd be fair to
Okay.
any request that it just do that. I think,
I'm just thinking the amounts in ones.
I think once we get going, we'll be all right. I mean, that's another question I have for later in the meeting, or we can address it now, is how frequently do we wanna meet? Do we wanna meet every week, every 2 weeks?
Mm.
I think a month would be too long.
One thing, if we want to start thinking back to the matrix too, because that was our kind of thought of being unbiased, you know, take out any unbiased and put everyone on a level playing field.
Right. Oh, I think that's great.
I kind of
That's-
forgot about it, but
That's where we should be starting. Right, I mean, before we have people come, we need to go through the matrix. I don't know if we wanna do it all together, or do we wanna break up into two or three teams, or pairs, or trios, and take a certain number of the applications, and then go through the matrix and give them a score? Maybe do that between meetings?
can we do that? Like, can we, like, break up and work at just, like,
I think two people
can
could be together at the same time, because that's not a,
conflict, or like,
You could
doesn't
have three be
violate?
the max, because of the quorum, right?
right.
But-
But I mean, do we have copies of the matrix?
We go get some.
We're talking about this, right?
Yeah, that one.
I don't have a copy with me.
Want me to go make a couple?
Yeah, I was trying to use that thing, but it's not working.
I just ran out of my office.
Put in a request.
I mean, if we have time, we could probably just go through it.
Yeah, I think
Few
we
of
should
them.
just do that.
Do it
help you?
tonight.
Too quickly.
Should I just, can I just copy yours so I don't have to?
Sure. Got a couple of notes on it, just, but ignore those. My notes were, I read that one column about.
How many copies does everyone want? Not gonna make 27 copies times
Not that
6
many of us
people
all together.
Well, we
I
only
think we
need to
just
have
need-
a copy for each of us, and then we'll keep track on
another sheet of.
Yeah.
the request sheet. So, your summary.
Yeah, that's true. I can just make notes on the request sheet and then
Yeah.
incorporate them into the minutes.
Dan, you got that final rule from the Treasury Department, right? Correct? Is that,
The overviews from the U.S. Department of Treasury, yeah.
yeah. In your searchings, have you found something in English about the ARPA Act?
This is the closest that I've.
So it's broken down so we could understand it?
Yeah, I did find,
Because it's just, everything is just so, it seems like everything is so vague.
there was an ARPA FAQ on mass.gov,
Okay,
which was kind of nice because it did go through, so like eligible uses of funding, someone submitted a question, can funds be used for new debt service that occurred after the ARPA was awarded?
okay.
Um,
So there is something in a simpler form.
But then they go into quoting
Yeah.
ARPA, so it gets a little cloudy as well, but.
Well, that was helpful. What you sent out today
Yeah,
is great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Everybody sees my notes now.
You want on it? Two. We want to start with Board of Selectmen, electronic signs for Town Hall.
Owned by Rebecca?
Yep. So, tangible impact. I'd say at least a two, but
Yeah. I'd say
Does
that.
have, it would have a chance, so that would move on to number one, right? As opposed to, am I correct? So if, the first thing we're looking at is, if it doesn't have a tangible impact, you stop right there, or you give it 0 points. Is that how it works? This point system, is that how it works?
Point system, but I think you look at all of them regardless, right?
Okay.
and add up the points.
So
Alright,
under
so-
tangible impact, I think a 2 is reasonable.
I would think so too.
And
Okay,
idea would probably that it would be around for at least 10 years, so that would be a 3 on the impact.
So so we're ranking each
Yeah. I think so,
category.
right?
Yes, right?
Yep. So
That's how I understood it.
impact itself, we're saying is a 2 also?
I would think 3,
Okay, 3? I
think a
just didn't
3.
hear you.
just because it should last more than 10 years.
Yeah, it says
Oh,
20
okay.
to 25 years, right, so.
Yep, I'm sorry. Community need?
Argue at 2, 1 or 2.
I'd say it's 2 or 3. It's gonna,
I mean, I guess it depends on what you're putting on the sign, right?
Yeah.
well,
So,
I'm
if you're just
taking it
saying,
as what they
bring
put
your
on the
dog
sign is gonna be
license in.
impactful.
Right.
You know, itself.
I'd agree with the 2. Anyone think differently?
More like a 1?
A 1?
See, I look at that a little differently, because it's one of those things where it's more of a passive
Yes.
reach. So in other words, it's there. You don't drive by it, you'll never see it. But if you do drive by, anybody who goes by is gonna see what's on it, so, and it's open to everybody.
And I look at it kind of where it is, yeah, there's probably gonna be 2 more of them on the same street. It's streets, a frequently driven street by people in town, because it has 2 of the schools.
So where is this gonna be now? Where is it gonna be? Is
This
that
one,
where the
this one we're
memorial
talking
is?
about be over where the 9/11 memorial is, over here.
Hold on 1 second, just so I can have it. So right where the memorial
Or
is right
somewhere
there?
around well, that's where the other one was.
You would just
original
take the
one was.
place of the one that's already there
So
now.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
somewhere
one
out in
up
front of
there.
the town hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then there'll be one at, if we do them all, there'll be one at Mitchell School and one at the Central School over here, so.
Which would make sense, I think.
I would think
To have it
whatever we
all.
score this one would be the score for the other.
Yep, I would agree
Two.
with that.
So where are we on the community need?
2,
Two.
Fine with 2.
Yeah, it's okay.
okay. Future cost, I think that's a,
I think it's a
One time.
project will not require further appropriations in town budgets.
I mean, it's just a slight increase to
Select-
electricity, right?
Slight, everything's slight with electricity, right?
Gonna be there 10 years, we're saying, so, right, 6 to 10 years?
So we say 3 or 1 or what?
I think, well, it wouldn't be a 1, because that would require an increase annual.
Yeah, we're probably not gonna, well, the electric budget's going up one way or another, but it won't be because of a sign.
Sign, no. You could probably even find some that are solar powered,
True.
if they
right.
look at
Yeah,
the
go
right
with 2?
ones.
Solar power.
Yeah.
Put solar power in there.
Give it a 2.
Yeah.
Probably
solar
double the
power.
cost. ROI,
I think that's 0.
yeah,
Yeah, I would say 0.
and efficiency,
I would say probably 2. I mean, because you won't know the impact. You'll never know the impact. You're just putting signage up. But you're assuming that people will see it. And, I mean, I drive by the high school sign on a daily basis. And I see it, and I know that there's gonna be a bonfire, you know,
Right.
so it's like little things like that. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, it just clicks,
Yeah.
so.
What do you think? I'm sorry. Was it 2? Is that what you
I
said?
said 2. I mean, you could probably stretch it to 3, but I think that 2 is pretty reasonable.
It was fair.
I agree with 2.
and change. This project would not be possible without ARPA funds, this would happen anyway.
I think you have to give a 0 here.
I think it would
0.
happen anyway.
Yeah, my understanding
know,
was
it's
that they
been
tried
shot
to do.
down.
No,
couple
4 times. Yeah, she said it was been
years.
shut down so many times, so this
So,
would not happen.
I don't know if it would, I don't think it would
It'll be
be
a 3.
0, but a 1 or, I think it would be like a 1 or 2, like maybe it would happen.
The way I read the matrix is
You either get
It's
one or
one
the
of the-
other.
one or the other.
Yeah, it says this, I would think a 3.
I'd go with the 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I had thought that the sign idea was rejected before this.
It was.
Right.
Was.
So in
Capital
other words, it
committee.
wouldn't happen then.
Well, I'm just saying that if it was presented continuously to the capital committee, maybe there would be a year that they would say yes, but I don't know that for a fact, obviously. But,
So as things stand, it wouldn't be possible without our funds, with the ARPA funds.
It's reasonable to assume. So I got a total of 14.
yep.
Sidewalk on Union Street.
14 on the other 2 signs as well.
Want to do it like that?
Which one is next?
Next one would be, I went in the order of
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just saying.
Melanie's,
Okay, I don't, what number is that?
so it's the sidewalk. You want to share?
I don't have that one. I don't have that one.
From one of the, let's see.
Matrix.
It's one of the applications from outside, outside.
What's the name of the
town.
person?
Howard Wilbur.
Robert Wilbur,
Yeah, it's probably easier.
Howard Wilbur.
It's even different. You're gonna see a different form. It's not gonna have this at the top.
Oh, it's not? Okay. I just left it the way it was. I think I may have passed it. There's only one that didn't have that cover sheet on there.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess I just passed it too.
This one. I think this is it.
That's a different one, but that's
This one.
the type of form.
Okay. What's missing? I don't see
That's
any
funny,
other
isn't it?
one. May not be in here, John. Oh, maybe right here, right here, I got
There
it.
you go.
Howard, yep, this one? Okay.
Hard to miss the typing on the right.
All right,
All right,
okay.
so back to tangible impact. I'd say at least a 2.
I would say at least a 2 as well. I don't know if you could say a lot to I don't think you could say 3, because it's not gonna be majority.
I would think it'd be 1 because it's only a limited number of people on Union Street.
That's a
But I think
point.
it's a significant, it's a part of like the center, kind of, right? No?
Kind of ends at the center, and it's
And then goes
going all the way
toward
back
West
up towards
Bridgewater.
Walnut Street.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
I don't think it goes, he's looking at it going over 18.
I'm not really good at geography.
And what I guess we need to know what section of Union Street.
Yeah, that would be a good, question to
Because I
ask.
think the center is all sidewalked.
That's true, so it's gotta be Union Street by the
So,
old high school.
It's not West Union Street, so I would think it's
Right, it's Union Street
Union
from
Street
Bedford
from the
Street back to
intermediate school
Walnut.
down,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't see
Because
many,
he talks about all the developments that have gone in up there over the years, which is
significant.
significant.
I think it's a legitimate request, but I don't know if it fits under what we're trying to do.
I'd go with a 1 instead of a 2.
okay, 1,
All right, next is impact.
3,
Yeah.
Okay, 3 for that. Community need,
I think,
when you look at it in the scope of the whole town, it's probably closer to a 1 than a 2.
Yeah,
I
I'd say
think
so
it's a
too.
1,
1,
1,
yeah.
Ken?
1.
All right, future cost. Will require large increase in annual operating budgets, increase in annual operating budgets, minor, not increase operating budgets.
I
Would
don't
it-
think it would.
Once it's in place, wouldn't it be just
Yeah.
like shoveling,
Might be
Yeah,
maybe.
the impact would be the snow clearing.
snow clearing?
Well, I mean, we have sidewalks on my street, the town doesn't clear them.
No?
No,
Yeah, we're the
residents
same
have
way.
to do them. So I would think the only thing would be is future repairs, but
Right.
that's not an operating expense.
So a 3?
2?
I think we'd have to, so 3 gets tricky because it says project will not require further appropriation in town budgets,
Oh,
which it would
but
at some point.
eventually, yes,
So I'm thinking
okay.
it would be a 2.
Yep.
Okay.
I think
All
a
right.
0 for ROI again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Efficiency, I mean, that's tough because you say, okay, it costs, whatever you're saying, $600,000. So if it lasts for 30 years, that's a different return than if it lasts for 20 years or 10 years.
Wow, 660K.
I think you could go with a 2 on this
Yeah.
one.
I'm good with 2.
B2?
2.
Then I think a 3 for change. I don't think
Well,
this
there's no
is.
question about that one.
Yes.
2 and then change is 3 or 0? 0?
3.
3.
3, okay.
It would not happen without the funds.
All right.
12.
That was a 12.
Yes. 11?
Oh, did I miss that? 5.
1, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 8, 11, 12.
It's 12?
Which one do you have different?
1, 3, 1, 2, 0, 2, and 0?
Oh,
Three
the
from
change was
last
3.
Change of 3, okay.
Wouldn't happen without
All
ARPA.
right,
What's the first one? K's Trucking,
Would be a 1 for tangible impact, because it's a small, very small group that it would.
Which one is that?
I didn't hear the name of the,
K's
Sorry.
Tracking, K's Trucking.
Oh, the truck.
It's a outside
Yeah.
application type,
Back first.
kinda looks like this.
Mine was in the back.
Now, one of the problems I have with that is that there was a note about paying off the debt.
Agreed. The other question, I don't know if we can ask this, because they talked about payroll too. Are we allowed to ask if they applied and were granted PPP funding?
Yeah, I think,
Because if they got that, I don't know why they have payroll issues.
I think a 0 or 1 for impact. I don't know if we know if it will last more than a year, but
It would, I think it'd be a stretch to say it's gonna have a small benefit on the 13,000 people.
oh, sorry, are you for tangible impact?
Yep.
Tangible impact, we think 1.
I think that's a stretch, I think probably 0.
I think 0 too. I don't know what impact it has.
I just think that it has an impact on at least their business.
are they locally, in terms of employees wise? Like, that's the thing that you gotta
Their
look
address
into.
is on Laurel Street.
All right.
But
I agree that they are the only people that it impacts, but I don't know if that automatically puts it at a 1 as opposed to 0, saying it impacts nobody.
That's true. No, I see your
But-
point.
say 1.
Third.
1.
I wouldn't go there, but,
I
okay.
think in the second
always right.
column, I think you could argue is 0.
I think, this is one of the few private sector
Yeah.
applications we've had, and from my understanding of ARPA, it was to help out private businesses, apart from what we're thinking about how the impact is on the town. So how do we justify, or how do we?
When we had the conversation with Charlie about this, his idea was kind of like bring it back to the matrix, and would this have a lasting benefit? Are you, I think he used the example, are you just handing someone a one-time payment that's not necessarily gonna make might make a difference for now, but doesn't necessarily fix any problems going forward? So I definitely understand what you're saying, is part of the program was to open it up to businesses and residents, which is why we took applications from outside, but if we're looking strictly at the matrix, I think it scores pretty low on a lot of the columns, but that's open for interpretation from all of us, obviously.
Yeah, I just find it hard to mesh the two, trying to help businesses and then make sure that they're affecting mostly East Bridgewater. Because maybe you might, this is totally off the wall, but I mean, you could have a business that had a real tough time during COVID
Right.
that's situated in East Bridgewater and has no employees and no business in town. How does that work? Just throw that out there to think about.
Well, I think we'd be having a different conversation too if we got an application from every single business in East Bridgewater saying that they lost money during COVID and they were looking to replenish their bank accounts and pay off some debt. We only got it from one, so I don't know, it's hard to compare with the other applications, I guess.
I guess, we're still on a tangible impact. I would have to say just 1, because there's a very small indirect benefit on the residents, but has a large effect on that one company.
Right.
I agree with 1.
for number, I thought we
We
had
already,
impact.
I
Yeah,
think
we
we
are.
already did
Already
that.
went-
Yeah, we did number
Oh,
one,
I'm
yeah, we
glad
did
we
number one already,
agreed.
yeah. So we're on
After all
number
that.
2, like, impact, to see what number for, does project impact only immediate, or a project will impacts on the town residents, up to 5 years?
I think they're looking to get the money this year, and after that, they're just gonna go on their own. you know?
Right?
That's the way I read it, when I read it. So it'd be less than 1 year or 1 to 5 years.
Yeah, I agree. One of those two.
Because you take it, and if they get the money that they're looking for, then they should be all right.
You would think that it would be a 1, right? 1 to 5, I mean, they
Yeah.
should be able to get through 1 year.
Yep.
1 year.
So
So, 0?
1.
1.
1.
Okay.
0 was less than 1.
All right. Community need.
I'd say a 1.
Yeah. I agree.
What
How
else?
about 0?
I
0.
could see that
Zero.
too.
I don't
Yeah.
see how it
Yeah,
has any community impact.
Well, because they're saying that they deliver goods,
Yeah, I was just like,
I feel like
it's
it's,
their piece of the community, but yeah, I can see 0 as well. Absolutely.
so 0?
I'm
Or
good
1.
with that.
0, okay.
I think it gets a 3 for future costs.
They do get a
Yeah.
3 for future costs, yes.
I think they get a 0 for ROI. Agreed on that.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
If we say there's low impact, it's actually, it's a low expenditure too.
So
Would
the
be
efficiency.
commensurate. So
Yeah, number
2.
2.
2
Yeah.
what I was
for the
looking at.
efficiency.
2 for efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Change would be 3.
Yeah. Well, 10?
10?
10.
Friends of East Bridgewater Trails. This is the one that I never looked at.
It's about refurbishing the trails behind the Sachem Center,
Okay.
putting, they're redoing the trails, they're putting some benches,
Footbridges.
footbridges, yep, over the rivers.
Okay.
I'd have to go with a 3 on that one.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3.
Tangible impact.
Yeah, I guess the only, hang up I would have is a majority of residents or businesses, because I don't know how many people use it. I do know that I'm down there all the time. And I see dog walkers and neighbors and, just people always on the trails.
Mhm.
One reason
would say
to
2.
argue, 2 or 3 is that it is open to anybody,
It's a public.
whether people use it or not.
True.
There's no restriction to use it, anyone can.
I'd be fine with a 3 on tangible impact.
So 3 or 2?
I'm thinking 3, because of the,
More
I
like a
mean.
2.
I'm more too.
I'm
How
more
about,
so-
can we go 2.5?
I mean, we can.
Well, that's okay, so we have 3 2s and 2 3s, so we'll go with a 2.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that, instead of splitting hairs, I think it,
Right.
it's a positive, either 2 or 3.
Definitely.
So.
I'd say at least 6 to 10, probably 10 plus would be good.
I
think 10 plus,
Three?
yeah.
I think 10 plus would be,
So we going 3 on that?
3 on impact.
And for community need. I think number 3.
This is one of those, it depends on who uses it, right?
Right.
I mean, but it does provide an open outdoor space where
Yes.
people can exercise and socialize and,
Mm.
Get some fresh air.
right,
So 3?
I think 3.
I'm fine with 3.
Future costs?
I think would be 3
Three.
because it's a private,
But we own the land though, don't we, the town?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, but I don't know that we do.
But we don't do
any-
anything,
I
right,
don't
so
think
that's true,
so.
yep, so,
Yeah.
so 3.
I mean, maybe it would be a question for like John Haynes or something, if something breaks there, who is, you know, if,
Like the benches
bench
or graffiti,
breaks,
like the
then,
kids
yeah,
being
if-
stupid
do
and
we
take
have-
a spray
yeah.
paint and start doing dumb stuff on that. So I could see that being
I
an
don't know if
issue.
that falls on us or them, I don't know.
On the Friends of, Friends,
Yeah.
the organization.
That would end up with DPW, I think.
I think it would
'Cause,
too.
I mean, they maintain all the
Everything
open
else,
space
okay.
anyway.
So 3,
But-
right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'd appropriate any money
I don't think so either.
forward for it.
Okay.
ROI,
Is 0. I don't know that we have any project that would get anything but 0 that I can
0?
think of.
The only one who might, no, never mind.
Yeah, 0. Efficiency? I think it's 2 or 3?
Two.
2?
I think a 2 is
Yep.
appropriate for efficiency.
And 3?
change,
Only 3, right?
Yes.
11, 16.
16.
We 3 on the last one?
Yeah.
Next one is the COA Pavilion.
I feel like we would do a 2 for the first one, similar to the trails, or would it be a 3?
Which one is this one again?
I don't know,
The COA
Pavilion.
pavilion.
I would say it's not a 3 because it's not a majority of East Bridgewater residents. I'd go with a 2.
2.
I agree with the 2.
Key is significant number as opposed to majority of.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And then 3 for the impact, it would be 10 plus years.
Yep.
I have to say 10 plus.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially if it's built well.
Community need.
I think if it's,
It's just
I think
the
you could argue a 3
disproportionate.
on community need.
Right.
I think we can too, especially if we did a 3 for the trails.
Mhm.
Future costs,
A 1 or 2, I know we'd have some upkeep,
What are
but,
the numbers again? I'm sorry.
oh, sorry, 2, 3, 3.
3. Okay. Now we're in 4. Future costs?
yep.
I
I
mean,
would think that
It
it
may
might
not,
be
actually, because it could potentially become a revenue generator if you let people rent the
rent
pavilion
it,
out.
that's true.
Very true.
So it
I
could
mean, and we do
self-fund.
let people rent the
Inside.
inside,
Right.
so.
I would
So,
think at the surface, you could go with a 2.
yeah,
I'd say at least a 2.
Yep.
Okay,
so maybe there is ROI here,
This was the only one I was thinking.
yeah. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the renting, but if we rent inside, why wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So do we decide on 2 for the future costs or 3?
There's really not a lot of expense with the inside.
No, it's not.
Could be what do you think?
I think 3, because it's a
3.
pavilion, it's just open air.
Yeah.
So you're basically talking about a structure with a roof.
Oh, there's also a storage area in it, like, it's closed.
Oh, okay,
So like if you go to Commercial Club, they have that area where they have the bathrooms and the other stuff in there on the open pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
So it's not just a roof and posts.
Okay, so there could be
There'll be tables or
maintenance,
whatever
and
in
it
there.
could be
Yep.
upkeep, yeah, okay. So that would
So
that would
2.
change that then,
Okay.
sure, sure.
Is that for ROI?
Yes.
too?
That's,
ROI is.
that was future costs, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, future, I thought we had that as a 2 anyway, but.
Yeah,
We
that's what I
did,
had too.
and then we,
Yeah, we went back. All right, so
Well,
ROI.
Yeah.
ROI, we're talking potentially they could get money in for renting it out. So project leverages at least 50% additional funding to expand impact under ROI. Not sure what that means.
So it sounds to me like that's saying it's gonna cost more to bring in money, so,
yeah,
but,
reading this, it's almost the opposite of ROI, the way it's written.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the wording here doesn't make sense to me, but I think the idea is that you put money in, are you gonna get any money back? And this might be one of the only projects that we say potentially, yes, we could get money back. So,
Maybe you just go with a 1 to be conservative.
yeah, that's fine with me.
I'm good with that.
That's reasonable. Because there's gonna be a lot of questions after we get beyond this, right?
Yes.
Right.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah,
This
this
is the
is
beginning.
not the be all end all.
Efficiency.
I think 2.
At least 2.
I think 2.
Yeah, I agree with
The
you.
town overall.
Yeah. It's costly,
Change.
but it'll be well worth it.
3.
Basically, that's how I read that.
Change is always gonna be 3.
For all these, yeah.
That's
Okay,
5,
three
8,
on the last
10,
one.
3,
Yes.
So
16.
So then,
Wrote on the wrong thing. All right, next one is the IT guy.
Which one is that, John? Is that the
It's
accounting or is
technology.
the technology? Okay.
Off-site backup system.
the 31,000?
So, I don't wanna say this now or wait, but from my perspective, there's some background in this area. Right now, we're backing the town hall and the police to the school, right? Which is really not backing up unless you have an electrical failure in one of the buildings, right? If a hurricane come through and hit here, or a tornado, it would tear up all 3 of the places, so the backup's no good. So they really should be just dumping the migrations that they're doing now to each other, the police and to the school, the town to the school, and the school back over to one of us. Just go to a third-party provider anyway. I don't know how well they're gonna take that if I say that, when I say
And
it.
is that what this is to do?
They're just adding in the off-site.
I
That's the
agree,
way I
they should
read it.
eliminate the expense of the backup to the school. It doesn't make any sense when you go to a third
Right.
party.
And there's probably not a lot of expense, but you'd get back servers and storage that you could not have to replace as you expand, because everything's expanding always in the data anyway. But,
So this is to create a third backup location, and then
It's a
depending,
migration accounting software, right, for 55?
so then it says
yeah,
depending on.
we're not to that one yet, that's gonna be the next.
So if it's backed up in an off-site data
16.
center, it's a $2,500 yearly cost. So I think this is
I mean,
to-
I don't really think, we can't really go through this to this depth until we talk to him.
yeah,
but
so
overall-
I'm just, so you're saying another
Maybe just-
option is to have, your,
Just stop sending the town hall stuff to the school, and the police department to the school to wherever which one of the 2 they're sending it to, if they're even sending it
and
there.
then send it no,
Send it to where he's proposing to add here, Fortinet,
Oh, so only have one backup location rather than, but does it
Geographic-
cost us anything to send to the school and vice versa?
Because we have to have the storage there, and we have to have the
Oh,
service
okay.
to send the
Okay.
stuff, things like that, so, I mean, it's a minimal cost.
Yeah,
You know, they saved money over all these years and got away with it.
right,
But in reality, the risk of something happening here,
right. No, I get what you're saying. I was confused. This is not my,
So would we feel like, I mean, is this hard to score then,
Yeah, I think so.
without him talking to us first?
I don't know, because I think this project would need to be done even if we stopped backing up here. Is that what you're saying, right?
well, you never want to stop backing up
Well,
until you have someplace else.
no, yeah, no, that's not what I meant.
No, I think she's, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But this would have to be, if we only did backups at a third-party site, then this project would have to be done either way.
Right.
So I think we can score it, or,
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's give it a try and see what happens.
I think it's gonna be hard to score this one. Without him explaining,
Right,
because I don't quite,
yeah,
I mean, if you're going to back up off-site, the tangible impact would be to a significant number of East Bridgewater, in the event it was used.
Right. So that,
that would be number 3.
yep,
I think it would be a 3.
I mean, yes, if the town of East Bridgewater gets held for, like, cyber ransom, then yes, it affects the whole town.
Right.
It says after a 3-year, it needs to be upgraded. After year 3 for support. So I would say number 1.
I agree with 1.
Number 1.
okay. I mean, I think it's a big need,
You think what?
a big need to be without your data at this
The
day and
little
age.
that I read, I have to agree.
Under the community need,
Yep,
So 3.
3.
I agree.
It says future cost was $450 for licensing.
I think it's definitely, it's at least a 1, if not 0.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
not a
don't think it's gonna be
huge
huge,
cost.
but I think it's definitely gonna impact the budget.
So 1?
yeah, I'd go with 1, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Number ROI,
ROI's is 0, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure I understand the whole ROI one.
I'm just thinking of it in, like, very simple, like, are we gonna make money back from this? That's like, that's the only,
And I agree.
that's a very
'cause
simple
really,
way
when
of,
we've talked about it before, that's what I thought of it as.
Yeah.
But the
It's-
words I read,
yeah.
And it's really not hurting anyone, because we're
Yeah.
pretty much giving everyone
Giving-
0.
exactly,
We
yeah.
could probably just skip it, quite honestly.
so 0? What number for that one?
Yeah.
0, okay. Efficiency?
It's hard to say, cause if we were attacked, then it's a great benefit.
The
Yeah, so
impact
3
is
or
only
2?
great
I
if
mean,
you use it, and you hope you don't use
And
it.
exactly.
I would say it's a 2, it's commensurate with the resource expenditure, it's
Right.
Yeah, okay.
insurance, right?
It's reasonable.
again,
Yeah,
it's only
makes sense.
$31,000.
And number 3.
Now, this one, though, would this happen without ARPA funds? I would say in the next budget,
Probably.
he'd probably request it and get it.
Yeah.
I think he's been requesting it a while, hasn't he?
No.
Not this.
I don't think
Nope.
so, not this particular project, because the town's been pretty open to the IT improvements that we've needed.
You've increased his budget
Yeah.
significantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So So
Sorry.
3,
I think a 0.
0,
So that gives them a 10.
6.
And
Yep.
So that's interesting, because he now has the same score as the trucking company. Just
Hmm?
food for thought.
Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah, I'd say, let's do them and then,
Yeah.
Well, but I think, I mean, the big kicker is the reason of the ARPA program too, right? The
Yeah.
trucking company got 3 extra points because they had no choice without it.
Right.
He has another funding source.
It's true.
Yeah, that's the difference, yeah.
Right.
all right, so he's up again, the next two.
Yeah, these are kind of mine too.
Oh, well,
It's kind of a
3, 3, 3,
technicality.
3,
But again, it was just kind of a,
Go.
I don't know what was going in, so we figured this has been something we've been talking about, let's put it in and see what happens. We're not even fully committed on either of these.
So the 14,005 or the 55?
Do the 55 first.
okay.
So this is basically our general ledger software right now is SoftWrite, and that's what we record all of the money in, all the money out, and they've basically, the companies said that they're not gonna make any improvements to the program anymore, like what it does now is what it's always gonna do, it's never gonna get any better, it shouldn't get worse, they'll still service it, but it's never gonna do more than it does now, so they've been.
Match with the times?
Right, so they've been pushing their cloud-based software, so we've seen some demos on it, we've done, we've talked to them a little bit, and that's where this pricing and stuff comes from, so that's just kind of a background on it.
and have you looked at other software?
So this one is directly related, the company that we use now, it's the same company, so the migration is smoother, and because I know Ryan's looked at these, because he's known for a long time that SoftWrite is, he's always said that eventually he thinks they're just gonna stop with it. They've now said they're not gonna stop it, they're just not gonna improve it. But there are other companies out there that we know are significantly more money, because SoftWrite's always been like the more budget-friendly of the financial systems for towns. Like there's Munis, where you're looking at probably like $100,000 outlay to switch. So I think this one gives us a benefit where it's the same parent company, cost-wise, and just kind of more like friendly to us, where that's what we've been using. There are definitely other ones out there, but I don't know exactly the prices, but I feel like if they were more cost efficient, Ryan would have mentioned those ones as well. But we can check with him on that too.
I think
Yeah.
it's good for the town too, where you're gonna be dealing with the same people.
Yeah,
And the people that call with questions, they call Gigi, or they call Ken, or they call me, or they call Nadia,
Right.
or whoever, and they already have the rapport, and they're gonna be more willing to help these old customers that they've had that have taken the chance for them to go to cloud, which is a better place to be anyway. That makes any sense.
yeah, so I can ask him definitely about that, whether there's because there's not too many out there for like municipal software. There's Vadar, Munis, I feel like there's another one I'm forgetting, but there's not a plethora of options. And I know Munis is way out of our price range.
Tangible impact? I think since it's the books of the town, it's gotta be high,
I don't know.
right? Where will we
I-
be?
The only thing is, like, and I've been saying this the whole time that we've been doing it, SoftWrite works. Like, what we have works. It's not ideal. There's a lot of, like, things that I do that I'm like, I wish I could do this differently, but the it does work. So, it's not, I don't know, that's,
So the upgrading of it,
I'm between a 1. I'm a 1.
a small indirect benefit on residents and businesses.
I could run much better reports for the finance committee.
No, I
But no,
look
that's
at-
what I'm very, like, transparent about this. What we have right now works. Like, I do, like, worry sometimes, like, what if, so if they're not making any improvements to it, will they eventually stop training customer service reps on it and things like that? But
Right.
at this point, what we have works. So, it's not, I don't think we're in a dire
I'm looking at like,
need.
comparing this to like the IT discussion, I feel like this has less impact, like a 1. You know, IT
Yeah, I think what,
is our communication to the world if there was a catastrophe.
But this
Whereas
is
this-
IT.
I mean,
No, but
we
I know
could
what you're
get by.
saying.
We
Yeah.
could use Excel in an emergency,
Right.
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
for finance. But communication, IT and stuff, I think would be far greater, that's my opinion.
I think because his is security, that's,
Security's huge, and the fact of having your books of records, I mean, if the new software doesn't work, or if you didn't get to it, and they're stuck with the software right the way it is now, would they be able to even go back with whatever we went to, because we didn't go to SoftWrite, and see what we did 10 years ago? Because the IRS is here, or the auditors are coming in to do something, and
We just went to the cloud, so
yeah,
I'm like deja vu, I'm like, oh,
Right.
no, don't even talk about it.
yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's interesting. We just did it. We're in the same spot in my company, and
Yeah,
what we had was working, and we
Right.
made the jump, and it's not working.
Yeah.
really.
Same software.
Just that cloud-based.
I feel like we could have kept going the way we were going without spending the money that we spent, and
Or find
Right.
something comparable. That's what I think, what your point was. Find something that's comparable to what you have currently, that test it out and see if it works.
Right.
Instead of sticking with this one, because like you said, I had the same issue with me, and when I went from Leap software, because it's a software for legal terms, then we switch over to cloud-based, and it's a complete mess. So I definitely concur with that.
it doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't speak well with other things. We're having all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just like.
Well, SoftWrite speaks with nothing, so that's,
Yeah.
there's, I know just like some of the town departments, that use it outside of the town hall, it's very slow, so the idea of cloud-based is intriguing because it shouldn't be as slow as what they deal with, like at the DPW and at the
Mhm.
school. But those are just ideas, like I said, what we have works, it's just,
What
there
numbers?
are other capabilities.
I'll defer to Melanie, because she knows what the impact is.
I don't
It
think it's a
doesn't.
3 if we gave it, you know, if we gave Ryan's a 3. I don't think it's at that level. I don't know, 1 or 2.
I'm not there every day, so
Dan?
I mean, I think if it's being used just outside of your department, you could argue a 2, that it is running all the finances of the town. I'd be fine with a 2.
Are we all in agreement for 2 or 1?
2.
I'll go with 2.
Okay.
The idea would be that we'd have it for at least 10 years.
So 2?
3? 10 plus, or is that 6 to 10?
I'd say 10 plus.
3?
Well, I guess, I don't know, you could say 6 to 10 to be
Yeah.
conservative, the way that technology changes.
Technology,
Yeah,
changes, yeah.
changes so quickly.
And we've had SoftWrite for much more than 10, but it changes a lot faster now.
Community need.
Two?
I'm still stuck on it. It impacts
I
the
think
whole
I'm a
town.
1 on that one.
We gave the previous one a 1. and community need. Because I think the whole thing with this community need is it reaching a population of disproportionate impact through COVID?
That's why you see explained written all over the place there.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I mean, that's their standard that they
Yeah,
developed in
yeah.
their guidelines, and,
Right.
you know, so like
Fine, that's fine.
the pavilion, we said, yes, you know, that group was disproportionately impacted.
Right.
Yeah.
Outdoor space. I don't know how you argue that on software.
Response to a salient community need, because community can go bankrupt without financial management.
Ultimately, it affects everybody in town.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah. I would say, yes, it affects everybody in town, and at some point, you're going to need to migrate to something better, whether it's this year or next year, or the year after, so, with software. And just from my experience, which is limited.
Right. Yeah, we do
Number are
get
we
the
looking
idea.
at?
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I got lost too. Is this,
One or two?
is this the third
Ooh, we're up to
column?
3. Yeah, the third column.
Community need, right?
Two's in between.
Yeah, let's just
I'm
keep
fine
it
with it.
going.
I'm
Two?
fine with 2.
All right.
Yep, I go with it.
Future costs,
Future spending, but it's minimal, right?
The new annual cost would be $45,000.
oh,
As
yeah.
opposed to 30 that we pay now,
So 15,000 increase.
so,
I would say
So it'd be a 1, right?
Oh, zero?
Minor.
That's $15,000.
yeah, 0 or 1. As far as the IT increases, it's not huge, but it's
No, I mean, if you figure
big.
the overall town budget's, what, like $55 million? So if we usually do a 2% increase, that's like 110,000. So this would be just about 8 or 12% of the annual increase.
I'd say it's minor, it's definitely not gonna require an increase in, it's not under the category, annual project cost will not require an increase, it's gonna require some
No.
increase.
Yeah, it's a 0 or
I
a
think
1.
So
I'm good
0
with-
or 1.
Zero from me. You guys think?
What we do, I'm fine with 1.
I'm fine with it, because it's not gonna be a large increase. $45,000, as Dan was saying.
It's 15 from the
It's only,
previous, so,
it's only a net 15 because they're already spending 30.
and 30.
So it's even better.
What do you guys
I'm not
think?
following that. We're talking about going from what to what?
So their annual is 30, and with the increase would be 15,000.
Which is a 50% increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that one line item, though, I'm looking at overall town budget's $55 million for one piece of software to go up by 15.
Annually.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking at it strictly what they're
No.
paying now versus
Yeah.
what they're paying next time, yeah.
Which seems like a big jump.
It does seem like a big
Right.
jump, yeah. I'd go with a 0 there.
Okay, so we have 0.
ROI,
ROI is
0.
0.
Efficiency.
2 or 2, or?
It's definitely a
Go 2.
I think it's a 2.
Yeah.
ROI?
Efficiency.
Is that what we have?
Yeah,
ROI,
ROI, yeah,
ROI is
yeah.
0.
Yeah, so that means we get more dog licenses taken care of.
And the last one would be 3.
Yeah.
Would happen anyway, right?
Not necessarily.
No.
No?
Actually, I think this time it would. Just, I mean, in my lifetime here in East Bridgewater, working this stuff, it's probably the 3rd or 4th time that software just kinda.
Yeah, I honestly don't know that for sure whether we are even gonna want to move forward with this once we've done all our homework and everything.
Nope.
Right.
But, or move forward with it right now, at least, but, yeah.
Is it a 0 or 3?
I mean, I would think Ryan would work it in, if it was something you wanted to do, he'd work it into his overall IT plan.
I know Ryan's been nervous about it for a while, like sticking with SoftWrite. So it also depends.
Well, what's the history been, when you needed software upgrades? Sounds like you did it, the town does it.
Well,
We've done it.
historically, over the long term, it was very, very tough for a long time. But as technology's become more present in everybody else's lives, people are more understanding of the need for the technology. So I don't know what's happened in the last 4 years since I've done any of this stuff, but
His budget's probably tripled in the last 3 years. But he's also, we didn't have a full-time IT director either, so you didn't have somebody advocating
Right.
and educating. So I think
Would it
it's,
be a zero?
I think
it's
it would be
zero.
a zero.
an 8.
6, 8.
Probably do similar for the other. So the other is if we didn't move forward. So if we did move forward with the cloud-based, then this project wouldn't be an issue. But if we didn't, then this would be another product to consider that would just help us with our budget process. Because right now, Dan knows we get
It's awful.
budgets in every format, every department sends it different, and SoftWrite doesn't have a user-friendly budget module. So this software is actually just for budgeting. But like I said, if we did anything else, we probably wouldn't even look into this. But this was after last year was my first budget season, and it can't be the same this year. So,
So this one wouldn't
This
even
one.
happen if we do the other one, right?
right.
Cost on this one, how much?
So, I mean, I think it
14,005.
probably be the same
5.
score as the other one.
Sounds easy to me.
But if you want to change it, but I think giving it the same score is probably pretty
Yeah,
reasonable.
8.
You think it'd be the same scores?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Okay. That was easy.
Okay, Plymouth County. Oh, one. East Bridgewater Police Association. Premium pay for patrol office during COVID. Well, didn't Plymouth County say they wouldn't do this?
Yeah, I remember them saying that.
Very complicated.
You would have, complication is you'd have to, say if the police are getting $50 an hour, everybody that made less than that would also have to get the
You
premium
have to
pay.
start at
Yeah.
like the school.
Right,
Yeah,
the
the idea
janitors,
of
the lunch
it was
people, yeah.
for low paid.
Complicated.
The police are probably among the better paid in the town.
Yes, compared to the janitors and
Yeah.
custodians and lunch ladies.
Before school,
I'd recommend
after
we
school
do not score
program.
this and get an opinion from Plymouth County on whether we can even move forward.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Table that. No action.
So who's gonna follow up with Plymouth County, Melanie?
I can follow up with them, yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. For
Next one.
some of these, I feel like maybe we could rank, maybe pick a couple that, I'm just trying to think, like Church Street lighting, Church Street shed repairs, like foul ball netting at Strong's Field, like
Oh, that's
Those
the next
might-
one.
those might be like all the similar ranking, or no? Just trying to think of a way to move it along, consolidate a few, but
Well, then, Next one's foul ball netting. The next ones that I have in a row here, based on the list, LED lighting, storage sheds. So we're getting to exactly what you were talking about. 2 courts. And scoreboard, strongs. The next 6 or 7 at least are in there.
Did everyone hear what Melanie suggested?
No.
That the foul ball netting, Church Street, concession storage, LED lighting at Church Street,
With a scoreboard.
scoreboard, that we group those together because they're all very similar. We'd probably
Sure.
rank them the same
Put
anyway.
it on the same.
Yeah.
So can you just give me the names again? I can just.
Would we include the repurposing and renovation of 2 courts at Church Street, or would we do
Yep.
that separate?
I would think could need to get, I don't know, it's up to you.
Well, let's start with the first one and see where we are. And
Okay.
first, let's see how the next one matches up, then if they both match up, we can go a bit faster.
So is
Good
this
call.
the foul ball netting?
Yep.
Hold on. Turf, foul ball. Oh, the high school baseball field back? No?
No.
Foul ball netting, 69,745.
Right, got it. All right.
I think for tangible impact, it's a 1.
I do too.
I agree.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a 2 or a 3. I don't know the lifespan of a,
I would think no more than a 2, but probably 5 years.
Did they say how long it's
If
gonna
it's
be?
put up and it's taking
yeah,
balls, you would think that it would,
I think it's like 1 to 5.
I would think it's 1 to 5.
Mhm.
1.
1.
1.
Okay.
1. Community need.
Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Future costs.
It did say that there was a future cost for inspection, or possibly for inspection,
Maybe,
Yep.
so that would be a 1.
Okay. Me. Anybody else?
Yes.
0 for ROI.
Okay. It's fine.
What did we say?
0.
0?
For ROI.
Yes.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Efficiency.
It seems like a lot of money to me to put up a net.
Me too.
So I'm thinking
They
a
had
1.
what, three
Yeah,
three
I'm
balls
thinking
go
it's
over the
0.
net?
We actually didn't look
Actually.
at the dollar amount till you just said that. I forgot what the.
What, number 3?
0?
0?
Oh, I'm fine with a 0.
I'm fine with the 0 there, too.
Change. Definitely
I think that
wouldn't,
probably is
wouldn't happen without
three.
ARPA.
Yeah,
No.
three.
I think that's giving it, pushing it the wrong way myself, but
2,
2, 3, 6.
6.
But is that true, though, John? It wouldn't happen without ARPA?
No.
I mean, it's a good, the Recreation Commission is, to my knowledge, and being on Finance Committee the last 3 years, this has never been brought to us as a request for funding. But it's not to say if they made an argument and we had the funds, we wouldn't, I don't know if I'd support it, but.
Yeah, I guess, I'm thinking back to the days of volunteerism, where we put on, like, Field of Screams for $0,
Right.
3 years, so, I guess what I'm getting at here is, I'm not saying everybody has to do that, but there is a point where people can make things happen.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Right.
Just throw that out there. More food for thought. A lot of food today.
As we're gonna see in the next 6 or 7 requests, there'd have to be a lot of people making a lot of things happen. They have got a lot of requests in here, the Recreation Commission.
Right.
So,
All right, what's the next one?
so the next one was
Little League concession.
electrical upgrades, building repair, total
It's a total-
$61,000.
The Church Street Little League concession, right?
Concession stand, storage shed, building on Church Street.
School, baseball, pickup.
It's got the sticker on it.
I didn't get one with the sticker. Let's see, Lillian Farms. 61,000 you said? Oh, right here.
Yep.
There you go. Okay. Yep, I saw this one too.
I'm thinking one or two, depending on how you wanna read them.
I mean, the Church Street complex does get used by a lot of people.
I don't think it's a majority.
No, I think you could argue
I
it
think
too.
the two. More people than the net, which we gave a
Yes.
1.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
So, one,
2.
Two.
impact.
This would be longer, but I'd say 2 or 3.
Do you have any idea, Dan, when the last time they looked to try and fix this stuff down there? So, seems to me it's always, in my lifetime, when I was here when they built it, every 2 or 3 years, there's something that's gotta be done.
There's something that goes wrong, yeah.
Right.
They haven't asked for an electrical upgrade that I'm aware of.
Okay,
I would think
So
that
go
would
two?
last 6 to 10 years, right?
okay, yep.
So two?
Two.
Yep. Two again for community need? Or 3 where it's a salient community, salient,
I think a 2 on community need.
Two.
okay?
Okay. Future costs,
What was the impact?
impact,
2.
2. So 2, 2, 2.
two, 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 two.
The cost,
I don't think there's any future costs.
No,
all right,
it's electrical, right? Just
Right.
one and done.
Well, it's electric and building
building.
repairs.
Yeah,
building
but I
is,
mean,
the
it's not
building's a
gonna-
big part of it, but,
No, I mean, might be a,
maybe,
like something
Wait.
here and there.
see, when you're interviewing them, you can say, well, how long has it been since you had to do anything to the building? We have a better sense of,
Right.
Right.
It's so
Where
important
we're
to have them
going.
come in here and like,
right,
yeah.
oh, you definitely need to have everybody come for everything.
Yeah, for everything, yeah.
But maybe, you know, we start with this is where we are,
Yeah, as a
and maybe
foundation.
go through it, and they can clarify
More.
things like that, so.
All right, so are we in?
Maybe a 2?
Yeah, I
Two?
think 2 is good.
Future
Future
costs.
cost 2, okay. ROI 0. Efficiency.
That,
Efficiency,
Two?
yeah,
I think a 2.
yeah.
I don't see this happening in the near future if they didn't have this money.
yeah,
It's not happening next fiscal year.
Right.
So 3,
3.
yeah.
13.
13.
Church Street lighting, 80,000.
I would think that the Church Street lighting would be the same score as what we just did.
I mean, just looking at we're gonna take these first two as an example, one come out of 6 and one of 13.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying the next one,
Oh.
like the LED lighting at Church Street, I think would be the same impact as what we just talked about for the concession stand at Church Street.
That one, the question I was gonna ask when we interview them, did they go to, not Eastern Edison anymore, whoever the Edison company is, and see what they would do for help? I think they donated poles and stuff for the ones that are there now.
They did, I'm pretty sure they did. There were a bunch of guys that were working for Edison at the time that actually installed them.
Right.
You and I have been around quite a while.
So I mean, to go and spend $70,000, maybe Edison, you know, the cost of the poles, I don't know if they're in here, but gotta be a big part of it. And then the installation, right? Hold on. 80,000.
Maybe when we get to the point where we're actually discussing these things with the groups, that's the point to say, have you reached out to
Right, no,
National Grid?
Yeah.
definitely.
Or, you know, people like that, or, talked about volunteers doing roofing or whatever, you know, so.
Mhm.
So maybe part of what I have to do is turn off what the number is. Just go through the matrix. Yeah. Maybe
Just
that'll
do the
help me
numbers.
better. All right, so impact, tangible impact.
Which one is
I
this
would
one?
say a 2,
Is this the lighting?
lighting.
I think your point is made, Dan. You just go through the same ones we did for the other one?
Yeah, this is probably the same.
think it's the same
I think,
score as
yeah,
the other
every
one,
one of
yeah.
those.
2, 2, 2,
I
2,
mean, with a little bit of variation, but we'll
2s,
get into
a
that.
0,
Right.
2 and a 3. 13. Everybody else good with that?
Which one is that, John? I'm sorry.
You're good.
The lighting?
The lighting is gonna have the same score as the electrical upgrade and the building repair,
LED lighting right here?
Yep.
So, 8?
80,000, yep.
Okay, 8.
It was a
The
13.
total came out to 13, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I almost said
13?
80. I was thought you were saying 80 for the
Oh,
number.
no,
How much
13.
it
Okay,
costs.
total's
I
13.
can't get off how much things cost, I guess.
I know, right? It's crazy.
All right, 13, 2 courts at Church Street. So this 100 and, nothing, how much it is? So tangible impact.
I would say 2.
What is this, basketball court?
This is the renovation
Yes.
of 2 courts.
2, repurposing and renovation of 2 courts located on Church Street.
Yeah, 2 new basketball courts.
Yeah, I think 2 for the tangible impact.
2 basketball and 2 pickleball.
Oh yeah, pickleball as well, which is growing in
They have
popularity.
$55,000 in funding from the state and $40,000 from the capital budget from the town. And then they want the $95,000.
It is for 140.
6,000.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out, so is this a $95,000 on top of the 146? That's, again, I'm getting wrapped up in how much it costs.
Yeah,
Which is not part
that's
of
the
today's
additional
function.
funding. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could take a note to double check the cost, obviously, but it shouldn't really affect too much, right?
What's the impact on that one?
Right, so if it's 2 basketball courts and 2 pickleball courts, I have no idea what the usage would be.
I mean, kids are down there all the time playing anytime I'm down there, they're down there on the dilapidated courts playing basketball.
And pickleball grew because of COVID.
Right, it did.
Yeah.
I would think it's a 2.
Okay,
2.
TI is 2, impact. I'd say 6 to 10.
I would think 6 to 10 without any major repairs.
2.
Yes.
Community need,
I would say 3.
2 or 3.
I think a 3 as well.
I'd go 2.
Talking community need.
Community need, yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, and, the word, I know we have our garden meetings at the library, and from what I understand, kids just hang out at the library,
Yeah.
so this would be another place to go.
Yeah.
So they hang out at the library.
Okay, 3,
Yes.
Three.
future costs,
That's the,
I think that's a 3 as well.
yes. Well, they have the security, that's $1,200 a year. And that-
What
that's
was
a-
that on this one?
is that on?
Security
Yeah.
in there.
Monthly charge for Wi-Fi for security camera,
Oh, okay, yep.
So 2,
2.
nothing crazy.
catch Nadia.
Read through this like, it's a lot of money.
ROI,
Yeah.
0.
What do you guys think?
I still have trouble understanding that column.
I know.
I think it's still a 0, because it doesn't have any revenue generating.
Oh,
That's
for
true,
ROI.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
ROI
that's the way
means
to think
me.
about it, revenue. If I think of it that way, then I won't struggle with it that much.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good point.
See, that gets me in trouble, because that's how I'm thinking of it. I'm reading this stuff and I'm saying,
Passing that way, because it's yours. I don't want to go home with it by accident.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna start thinking that way. Okay.
All right,
Efficiency. I
Say
think
it.
it's 2.
2.
Yeah, it's issue.
And then I would say 3.
I would say a 3 as well.
efficiency was 2,
Yes.
and then change,
Is 3.
3. 4, 7, 9, 14.
14. Next is the scoreboard.
So you're saying that comes under revenue replacement?
ROI, yeah, that's how to think of it, is revenue replacement, yeah.
Oh, this, no, this is.
Oh, this one,
that's-
the next
this is-
one?
This is that category where it's not coming out of the big number, it's coming out of that arbitrary number.
Oh, this is another one?
Yep.
Which one is that one? Sorry, I just gotta know the amount
Are you on Strong's field now?
17,420.
Yeah, the replacement scoreboard, Strong's Field.
I don't understand the revenue replacement, but
Oh, he doesn't wanna,
we can,
that means there's no requirement, right? You just,
Yeah.
right.
we don't have to go back to Plymouth County on that?
No,
We just have to make sure it falls into the definition, I
Right.
think.
50 years it's been there.
We got our money's worth out of that one.
Jesus,
The scoreboard's been there for how long?
50 years.
Wow.
When I played Little League, we didn't have a scoreboard at every field.
No,
No,
we didn't have numbers.
Right.
We had
Yeah.
Roman numerals.
Right,
Yeah.
someone hung up a plate.
yes.
All right, tangible impact of scoreboard.
This is a wireless electronic scoreboard too. right?
Yes.
I mean, I don't,
I would say it's a 1.
One.
or
I thought one.
All right, impact.
I mean, based on the
55 years, is that what it is?
reason.
I think it's number 3.
It's 3.
Yeah.
3 plus. Oh, it should go for 10 years if we're lucky, right? If it's done right.
Yep. Community need,
Yeah, I think it's up there. I would say 1.
I agree with a 1.
1?
Okay.
Okay.
Are we still on?
We are doing the scoreboard, yeah.
All right, what do we got so far?
So 1, 3, and 1. We're on future costs,
I'd say 3.
I would say 3.
yeah.
Of course, they don't make things like they did 50 years ago.
They don't.
True.
True.
That's so
Very true.
true.
0 for ROI.
Yep.
Unless we start selling ads.
True.
Efficiency.
It could pay for itself in 1 year.
Project exhaust. I think the
Two.
efficiency's a 1.
1,
Okay.
yeah.
change.
3,
And then 3.
4, 5, 8, 9, 12.
Yep.
I'm getting tired.
About 10 to go, 8 to go, something like that.
Ugh.
12,900 outdoor movie system.
I think the outdoor movie system could be a 2 for tangible impact.
Sorry, I missed the last of
I know.
the scoreboard. What were the last two on the scoreboard?
Oh, sure.
1 and 3.
1 and
1 and 3.
Hmm? Impact.
Excuse me.
I mean, I think
Think
if it's done right and promoted, it could be a 2.
Okay. Good with 2.
Yeah, I'd say 2. I think if we're saying 2 for some of the, like, athletic stuff, then.
Mhm.
Community need.
Oh, wait, was it 2 2s? Sorry.
Yep, 2
Okay.
2s.
All right.
Oh.
Community need.
No. An impact? 2?
Yep.
Okay. Community need?
Let's say a 2 again.
I would say a 2.
2.
Future costs.
3. I don't think there's anything. They put 0.
No annual maintenance, yeah. Say 3. ROI
0.
and change.
Well, efficiency first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think efficiency would be a 2.
Yeah, I'd say 2.
Okay.
It's not a huge outlay.
This one I'm torn with on the, would it happen
Too,
anyway? I
because
think
they
it-
have a
I think it
budget.
would.
They do have a
but-
budget. We gave them a budget of $25,000 this year, so they have funds available to spend on it. So I'd say they should have a 0.
0?
Yep.
Okay.
If it was a more expensive project, 3, but where this is reasonable.
Right.
11 total.
11.
Yes.
Leland Farm feasibility.
Where is Leland Farm?
So Belmont Street, soccer fields in
What
North
is it?
Central.
Sorry, say it again.
Is it part of the soccer fields?
On Belmont?
Leland Farms
Yeah, Belmont.
starts,
Just-
it's on North Central, and it goes all the way to Belmont Street, so soccer fields are on Leland Farms.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's quite a nice, big area over there,
Yeah.
for anybody that hasn't been over to it.
Yeah.
$1 million investment, right? Or was that was the other one? I think Leland was more, was it?
More,
Than the Bannerman?
it was, I'm pretty sure it was, yeah,
I've been 2 or 3 million.
yeah. We bought it all at the same time, didn't we?
No, I think we bought
I know we
that
had,
first, and then we bought the.
we had the
farm.
override for like 1 or 2 years in a row, I think, something like that,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, all the soccer fields are nice.
So this is a feasibility study to see what else they can put out there.
Yeah,
So it's not a lot of money. It's $20,000, I think.
Yeah, because they have a state budget earmark for part of it.
There's the money.
I mean, if they could put more stuff out there, those fields are very well used.
Right, no
Yeah.
question
Oh,
about
I'm
that.
all for like open,
Yeah.
more recreational areas for sure. I think we lack that compared to other towns.
I would think tangible impact would be a 2.
yeah, I agree with you on that.
Fact, I'd say 2 at least. Oh, no, wait a minute.
And this really is for the long term, too. 2 probably for the impact,
Right.
6 to 10 years.
I agree.
I agree. I'd go more, but it's just, this is just a
Don't know.
feasibility
Right.
study.
Right.
Right,
you know, So you'll know within, actually probably 1 to 5 years for the study itself.
Right.
That's
So-
true.
Probably just a 1.
1. I agree.
Oh, for impact.
Right. And, community need,
I think there is a need for coordination or planning for our open space.
So one,
That's what this would fall under,
yeah,
I agree.
because once it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
yeah,
So two,
Two's fine.
two,
future costs.
Future cost would be, well,
Nothing for feasibility
Nothing
study.
for
That'd be minimal,
feasibility.
because it's
Yeah.
the feasibility study.
Right.
Yeah.
So that'd be
Three.
three.
ROI, 0. Efficiency, I think it's efficient because it's just,
Well,
we're
you know,
doing a study first and,
the study itself won't generate any income, but the result might, because I know that soccer tournaments and things like that do generate income.
right, but we're not, we're just
we
doing the study.
haven't though,
Right.
they haven't though.
They haven't?
No, the
Oh,
Snack
really?
Shack have like closed for a good 3-4 years.
That field has been closed?
No, like the Snack Shack. Like
Oh, the Snack Shack,
Talk
right,
about revenue in
right.
terms of like having more people using the,
Yes, yes.
like they haven't had anybody run the Snack Shack for a very long
Oh,
time.
okay.
Yeah,
They go with the volunteers again, you know.
There you
that's-
go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So there wouldn't be generating
No,
income, so.
there wouldn't be no income generated
So
Mm.
for
unless, you know,
efficiency,
efficiency, I'd say a 2 for
two,
efficiency.
I think two.
Okay. Change, I think probably 0,
Okay,
because I mean, they already went out and got some money.
yeah, they've got some of the money,
I mean, they haven't come to the town and asked for the second to,
which I'd be curious, because sometimes the earmark money you have to spend
certain time.
in a certain time
Time
period,
frame.
but I don't know
Right.
the particulars on that one. I don't think it's come,
I
I don't think
haven't.
it's come through.
So
seen it.
0
I would say 0.
total,
5,
3, 4,
10.
8, 10.
Yep. Roof replacement. And it's 16.8.
So I mean, this is for the buildings at the Church Street and Belmont Street. So if we rank the other things 2s, I would say we should rank this a 2
2, yeah.
for tangible.
Should be a 3 for impacts, right? Roof should.
Roofing should last more than 10 years.
So 2
It's done
and,
right.
Right.
2 and 2,
2 and 3.
2 and 3, okay.
2,
2,
community need,
I agree, 2.
future cost,
Shouldn't be any, right?
That should be a 3. They didn't list any, but we can clarify when they come in, because they left it blank.
0
They-
for
actually, they
ROI.
have a no. Will this require annual maintenance? No.
Okay.
So that'd be a 3.
Yes.
ROI,
0.
0. Efficiency 2.
I think 2 for efficiency.
and that would be 3.
That's
You
another
have to go
one.
0 again on this one.
yeah, I
Would it
think,
happen? It could happen anyway. That's a low budget item.
yeah, I
They
think they
could
would
fit
do
it
it.
if they wanted.
They're not gonna let those buildings collapse with
Right.
bad
Right.
roofs.
If the roof leaks, you have to fix it.
Right.
So 12.
12.
Yes.
Yep.
Purchase of land on Robbins, I think we just have to put aside for now.
Right.
I think so.
Yeah.
talked to Chief Herron about it though, and it really is a cool idea for the town to have like actual access to Robbins Pond, because right now we don't have access to water in this town, like to recreational water use.
No, I mean, people park in that little lot on Pond Street and
Yeah,
Right,
walk their
The canoe-
kayaks
the
across,
kayaks,
yeah.
yeah.
right,
Some people put pontoon boats in there.
right. Interesting.
Okay, inclusive playground equipment, Central School.
I think it's good.
Another one, gonna check on revenue replacement fund.
Yeah, we can look at this as if it qualifies for like as a disadvantaged group.
Right.
So
I would think it will.
I think it would too.
So number 1 is 2. Tangible impact is 2.
Yeah, I mean, it can be used by everyone. It's not just
Right.
exclusive to the,
Right.
it's inclusive. So I would say a 2.
Okay.
I would say a 3 for impact. Right.
Should last more than 10 years.
Well, the stuff's definitely been out there more than 10 years,
Yeah.
so.
Community need.
I think you could argue 3 for
3, I
community
think you
need as
could,
well.
too.
I'd go more 2,
More 2.
Either way, I mean, it's,
because it's kinda like the number of people in the community that would use it.
But I think
Limited.
if you look at it too, as if like that population of people in the community don't have any other, there's no other, like recreational areas.
That's the way I looked at it.
That's how
that it-
I-
yeah, kind of like the COA too. It's like you have a population that's limited, but they need something.
Right.
Right.
So what number? Sorry.
That was my reasoning for 3, but
said
I know
5.
you had said 2,
Good.
so.
2?
I was just going on the fact it does reach a disproportionate population, but there's not a lot of people in the community that are in that disproportionate population.
Right, but I think within that population, there's the need.
Yeah.
Good with 3.
Okay.
3? Okay, not 2?
I don't think there's
Put
any
it this way, I
future
don't wanna make it
costs.
not happen. 'cause
No, I
think it should
understand,
happen,
yeah.
you know?
3.
No, I think this is one of the best ones that was submitted.
Yep. Future costs,
3.
3.
ROI 0.
I think efficiency would be a 2 again.
Yeah.
We don't know if it would happen without the money, do we?
We don't know, because there could be grants or something
Right.
out there, like I know,
we really don't know the,
Yeah, it doesn't
That
really give
answer
us a lot of wiggle
typically.
room there, so.
right?
So we say 3, is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
I think we can say 3 on this
Yeah,
one.
Yeah,
safely.
because he says a here, I don't believe so at this time, and he's really good about, like, getting out there and getting grants, like, they
They are
just got
good.
one for a classroom, to make a more autistic-friendly classroom at Central, so he's involved in that.
So 16.
Yes. 16?
16.
yep.
Guys, we're doing way better at this than I thought we were gonna tonight.
I know, we're almost done.
Mental health and social emotional funding.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
There's something like this, doesn't it seem like that would come under a different roof, under a different tent, you know, like, this is almost like out of our league here, talking about funding social and mental health work at the
I
school.
think it was actually pretty specifically laid out in something you read earlier.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
for that
that
amount of
Dan
money
read,
even?
yeah.
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, it falls under public health.
Okay,
Yep.
So I think, as he says in it, there were grants, like, there was the CARES grant, but then there were ESSER grants for the school, and they used
All
the
of it.
ESSER grants to bring in some more of the personnel that he describes here for mental health, intervention. So with the ESSER funding running out, this would be funding to try to keep some of those positions here for another 2 years.
So this would be for a limited amount of time?
I think we have
Okay,
to be
24
very
and
specific
25.
about that, because
Right,
this
this-
is not sustainable within the town's budget.
Yeah,
That's the big question is,
Yeah,
so what they had before, they got a grant to do it for so many years, and now the grant's run out, and now they're looking for more money to keep going.
The grant came
So-
through the CARES Act, though. Yeah.
Right.
But when this $600,000 is gone in 2 years, or whatever number of years it is, you know, are they gonna just lay off the people that do it? Historically, they haven't done that. They find a way to
Right.
get the
But
town to
that-
pay it, they just jump the budget up.
So would be the same thing if that money runs out this year? Would they add it to the budget this year or lay off the people now? Either, but if you do this, then you're getting 2 more years under the grant before you have to deal with that issue.
Right.
But-
Which would, again, would probably, within that time frame, could be more opportunities and
It could be more grants.
grants. As the world is evolving
Right.
and we're seeing more and more issues with mental
Right,
health.
Need for it, yeah.
Yeah,
Big need
especially
for it.
suicide
The need
prevention.
is- The need is there. I mean, when the police chiefs come in and do their presentations to us and everything, it always correlates with what the school's saying as far as the need
Definitely.
for mental health and support. And I don't know if he mentions it. I guess he just says mental health and social emotional. I was just wondering if any of it was also just for like bringing kids up to speed with learning that fell behind during the pandemic. I'm not sure. He doesn't mention that here, so.
All right, so
Alright.
tangible impact. I would say a 3.
Say 2 or 3.
2?
I'd
I
say
think a 2.
two.
Okay.
Impact would be a 1. It's
So
only
it's
2 years,
a
right?
year at a time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so 1.
1.
I think a 3 for community need.
Yes.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Future costs, which, yeah.
So I'm
I
trying to.
honestly think, just being realistic, you have to put a 0 for future costs.
I agree.
How come?
The way it's worded,
Because they're not gonna,
Be able to sustain it.
Yeah.
but the way, I think that might be a discussion, because he specifically writes in here, the funding requested will allow them to provide support for 24 and 25.
so I think we're fair, and during their interview, we have to pointedly, point blank ask
That,
what will happen with these
Right.
positions at the end of 25.
which I imagine they would anticipate
Yeah.
as a question.
I think that's what I was kind of leading to before. Yeah, the amount seems like there's going to be more coming from some other areas too.
At
not
some
just-
point,
Not just this.
Yes, yeah.
So I mean, if we base it on face value, then it would be a 0. I'm sorry, a 3,
3.
but we
Think
can
so.
reevaluate that when
I
it
think
comes
that's a
in.
big
Right. Because
circle.
we're looking at it as a 2-year project.
Yes.
Right, that's
right.
true, yep.
0 for ROI. It's hard to say that for efficiency. Well, you can't measure the impact of mental
No.
health.
I'd probably just give it a 2,
Yeah, I think
Yep.
that's been pretty
Yep.
consistent with,
and then I think a 3 for change.
yeah, because we're not finding all
Oh.
that in the budget this year.
Not this year. Total, 5,
9, 11, 14.
14, 12, 14.
I think that's one of the stronger applications, especially considering the Plymouth County money and what may or may not apply for, like, what might qualify for Plymouth County.
Mhm.
I don't know how many of these are going to, so.
You're right.
High school baseball field backstop. $92,000.
I was trying to picture which field is this?
It's the one over here.
Yeah.
The big one right on
Right
the
here next
corner?
to City Hall, Town Hall,
So they're saying it's currently 60 feet behind the home plate, and they want to move it to 30 feet behind the home plate. Put netting on the first base side. See the side going along the houses that are there.
Retaining wall is.
It'll limit the number of lost baseballs for $90,000. I got a kick out of it when I read that one.
Yeah.
I guess I would ask the people who installed it to move it. Because someone made a mistake there.
Right. Tangible impact, I would say 1.
I agree.
Right.
3.
Impact.
There's another similar one. What did we, I think we said 1 for,
yeah, we had one.
Oh, for the net, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
mean,
I think we
yeah,
said 1, that it wouldn't last more than,
I mean, the backstop would last more than 5 years, you would think, but the
I
netting
think
wouldn't.
2 maybe.
I think I'd go 2 on that.
2.
Community need.
Is there?
I think it's 0 on community need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just going back to what they're trying to do is,
I think a 3 in future costs. I don't think it,
I'd say 0, community need.
Mhm.
Future cost,
They don't list any future costs, so 3.
yeah. What they say when they put this one up.
yeah, exactly. And
last
here we are,
forever.
how many years later?
More years than it seems like.
I would vote this would not happen without ARPA funds either.
Yeah. ROI is 0,
ROI 0.
efficiency,
Efficiency,
I think a
I'd say 1.
1,
I think 1.
$100,000.
Change, a 3.
10.
We're getting there. 1, 2, 3 to go, 4 to go.
4 to go.
School pickup truck,
I don't understand this one.
coming out of revenue replacement. What it is when they need to go pick something up, coach or the teacher or whatever it is takes their own car, puts in for mileage or whatever, I guess, and they pay them. And the insurance company has recommended that this is not a good practice.
I just can't believe that they're not driving 80 miles to go get something for the school. We have turnover on police cars and the fire chief's car and all kind of vehicles in this town.
That's what we just did with the assessor's office. That's a great idea.
There's a car sitting out in the parking lot that can
No,
be
that's a
used,
perfect,
right?
that's exactly what happened when they suggested it for the assessors, that they ended up taking like a surplus vehicle basically and using it, because like you said, they're not driving far distances, because I don't see mileage reimbursements from people, and
Okay,
if
that's
people
what I
are
had.
going 80 miles, they'd be putting in for mileage reimbursements.
Right.
I mean, they're doing it for seminars and stuff like that, but you wouldn't take
Pickup truck.
this
wouldn't.
for that anyway.
Right.
Well, and then the thing, the description, it's just going picking up stuff around town.
Yeah, but
We have plenty of vehicles in this town. If it's picking up stuff around town, I'm sure one of the DPW trucks could pick it up and drop it
Yeah.
off for 'em.
I think that's
Yeah, why
it.
can't they coordinate that?
Right.
Yeah. Probably just going to Dewhurst anyway.
Right.
What
All
are we
right.
saying?
So my tangible impact is
0,
0.
0.
impact. there's no tangible impact, then the impact itself is gonna be zero, right? So I would say over time, the impact on the town is gonna be paying the truck, and
I'm
the
fine.
insurance on the truck,
Insurance.
Fine with that.
Maintenance, what number?
zero.
Okay.
Community need,
0.
future costs. Yep, zero at least, or one, I mean, at least,
At least a 1.
1?
yep. ROI, zero. Efficiency,
0.
and change, 3.
3 there.
You never know.
4?
4.
I think that's a great point to bring up, like something similar with what the assessor's office did. They just took they have a police car, they paid to get it detailed, cleaned up, and
And I'm
now
pretty
it's
sure
operating for them.
O'Brien has in his budget for this year to replace 2 or 3 cars anyway.
Yeah. What's the next one?
DPW probably has a pickup lying around it,
Mhm.
'cause they just replaced one too, I think.
Yep.
Turf insulation, $1 million. But don't let that number impact your decisions here. Tangible impact.
Where's the insulation for? Where's the insulation for?
Turf.
Softball field and the practice field. Softball field, you
Which
could
one is
maybe.
that one? Where is that? No.
Right out here.
Oh, the one off of Route 18 next to
Yeah.
Cumbies?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. it
I would
does.
say tangible impact's a 1.
Yeah,
Be paying for it for longer than 5 years.
No, the tangible.
The first one.
First
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
So you put a 1 on that one?
I think so. It's a small, I mean, there's not a,
Make my notes.
if you look at the number of people that play on that field, it's a small population, right?
And the difference in the playing field is how much too. I mean,
Right.
what's it really gonna buy? I mean, they've been playing there for so many years now. To spend $1 million to put fake grass in,
But also, Club AAU team used that field as well.
Oh, okay.
And our town uses that as well.
I'm fine with a 2 then, on tangible impact. If it's, and we're basing it on the number of people that it impacts.
It does, like
Yeah.
outside and stuff that comes in and
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
And I know that you guys get revenue from people using the field.
so here's ROI.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
that's why we're thinking about that. So, all right, impact?
Impact.
So I know, I mean, turf, it doesn't last forever.
No,
How long has the school been? It's been there 10 years now, right?
it's really in bad, not that great shape right now. Like, the stuff
They're
comes
talking
out.
about replacing the turf on the
Yes.
football field
It's
in the next
bad.
year or
So
so.
I would
Yeah,
say
it's not
6 to
good.
10.
Yeah,
I would say 6 to 10.
There's an article in the paper today too about, either today or yesterday, about replacing turf fields in Charlestown, I think it was, or East Boston, and how they compact after 5 to 10 years. So
Yeah.
yes,
there's gonna be a lot of cost down the road.
yes.
So that's 2.
Um,
Community need,
say 2.
2.
2.
Future
Was
costs.
it, impact was
Impact was 2?
2, 6 to 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm,
Community need is 2,
yes,
did you just say?
yes.
Future costs,
They list that there are future costs, but all they list is annual maintenance and no cost associated with that.
Okay, and we should probably ask them what's the annual maintenance cost would be. So what would we say for that
Like
one?
we're seeing with the football, that eventually it's a huge cost
Up front and then.
to
just for maintenance.
replace in 10 years.
So would it be a
1 or 2?
1 or a 2, yeah?
I think it's a 1 to start until they
Yes.
come in and we find out what
That's
it
true.
is.
ROI? Give them a 1?
If They rent that field though,
So,
Melanie, it
yeah,
goes
they
into
do.
a school revolving account, right?
Hi. Yeah, we do
Yeah.
building rental. I can't,
Building.
well, I know, I'm trying to think if I've seen things come in for field rentals, but I guess
I mean, when you rent the auditorium,
oh yeah, I see
revolving
that.
costs.
Oh yeah, I absolutely see that.
how
I'm
many
just trying to
people
think
re-
of the field.
do people actually rent it?
The auditorium, yeah.
Oh, when the AAU
The
comes
field,
in?
the field,
Yeah, when the AAU
I don't know how it works with them, but they have to have permission and I think contact them, and I don't know I don't know if they get money, but I know that they have to pay for
Yeah, it would go in a revolving fund,
the revolving fund.
School.
I would think.
Most
Yeah.
likely, yeah.
I'm sure it goes into an athletic revolving.
Yes,
I mean, when we get money for like Strong's Field
yes, from East Coast Eagles.
to a revolving fund for Strong's Field.
So it's 0. Efficiency,
It seems,
One.
I think a 1, it seems
Yeah.
like a lot of money.
There's a
Yeah,
lot.
Zero.
you have to be very efficient to make back $1 million plus.
I would say 0.
0?
0,
Yeah,
yeah.
that far outweighs the impact.
I'd agree too. I think they just need to address the drainage issue.
Yeah, and turf doesn't eliminate the drainage issue. So
It's a good point.
it's still gonna be underwater.
Yeah, unless they're gonna, that is compromised within that $1 million budget.
Right,
Which I'm assuming it should be.
you would hope.
But you never know, right? So what is for,
It's,
the last one?
Change, I
3
would say, oh, definitely 3.
yeah.
total, 2, 4, 6, 7.
10.
10.
I had 9. What did I do wrong? I had 1, 2, 2, 1, 3.
2 was TI
We
was 2.
changed the first one to 2.
Oh, okay.
2.
That's what I did wrong.
All right, 300K. And it's Mitchell School, Central School entrance security enhancement.
I like this one.
What grade are your kids in?
Oh, I have a 4th grader and a 3rd grader.
Okay, I have a 1st grader and a 1-year-old, so they probably haven't crossed paths yet.
Yeah. I think this is big too.
So tangible impact. I mean, it's a significant number of residents that pass through the 2 schools.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say a 2, right?
Yes.
Yep, that's good. I'd say a 3.
3,
A 3.
3 again.
yes.
Future cost,
One time, right?
I would say it's gonna be
1,
a 2
2,
at least.
2 guys?
How much maintenance on a door?
I mean, they don't
They
list any.
they put none,
Yeah.
There's gotta be some maintenance.
but it's
You
probably
think?
absorbed by the custodians, I would think.
Yeah, I would think.
True, true.
So 2?
2 or 3?
Will not require.
I think it's a 3.
I would say 2, because if you give it a 3, it means it's permanent, right? That we'd never have to appropriate anything ever again.
So 2, okay.
Yeah, 2 is implying what you said,
Yeah.
the labor and the costs would be absorbed.
Yep.
By people already in the job.
ROI.
0.
0.
Efficiency, 2
2.
I'm good with the 2.
and 3. 2, 5, 8, 10, 12.
I don't think this would be done anyway.
I don't know right now.
And right now, I don't
now it
think,
wouldn't
right
be.
now.
No?
They were very hesitant to do anything with this, especially with the central school at the last, budget season. So I would think probably not.
Okay.
I'm surprised AC's not on here for
For those little kids.
those open houses are torturous.
So bad.
so hot in there sometimes, the fans are
I said to
going.
someone the other day, I said, thank goodness those poor,
Oh my
those little kids
gosh.
don't know what some other schools look like.
But it like, yeah,
The teachers are definitely the gems in that
In that
school.
school. they are. Kudos to
Alright.
them.
Snow blower school, for the school, times 2.
That was 15, right? The
Yep.
last one.
Oh, I didn't think I put a number for that.
So,
I guess
Snow
you could
blower,
arg-
you said?
You could argue a one, I
Fine.
suppose.
2 snow blowers
Where are we
for
now?
Snow blower.
34,800.
Oh,
What
snow
do we
blower.
have right now? What do they have
Smaller
right now?
snow blowers,
yeah, and
None?
the
smaller ones.
Oh, smaller ones.
Well,
manual.
their thing is that, the
Okay,
janitors have to come in early and do the, snow blowing, clearing
gotcha.
on overtime or in the morning before the school
Got it.
opens up.
Mhm.
And they think with these 2 snow blowers that actually will salt after they're done snow blowing, they can use them to salt. We'll kind of save on that.
Okay.
I think it salts while they plow. The picture looks like it's got a salter
Yeah,
built on the back
right.
of it.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, it's the same unit as front and back attachments.
Require annual maintenance.
I think those things come with like, if you want optional like services on them, right?
Mm.
So, I think it's good. We should say number 3 or
Tangible
2.
impact.
It impacts all the people.
Significant number of East Bridgewater residents will be impacted.
I would say a 2.
2?
Yep. Ongoing maintenance, doesn't say how long the snow blowers last.
I think it
they-
would be 6 to 10.
I would think
yeah,
6 to 10
6
years,
to 10
right?
years.
Taken
Sure.
care of.
It's taken care of
Yep.
Yeah.
easily.
So it's a 2. Community need,
Maybe a 1, because there are other,
Mm.
the only method that they have to do, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
they're able to do it today. This is
Right.
just, it's almost like your software. It
Right.
works
Yeah.
today. This is just an improvement.
So a 1 or a 2?
I go
I
1.
think a 1.
Okay. What's your cost?
Costs, probably minor,
I think
I say 2.
2.
2, say even, maybe even 3
Okay, yeah.
They did say that,
would be,
They say there are
they put
costs,
some
but
in, okay.
Minimal, I think 2.
I would think 2.
Yeah.
ROI, 0.
Yeah.
Efficiency,
2?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
And 3.
they'd probably reduce overtime for the janitors and pay back.
Are we doing 0 for
Sure.
this one too? Or 3 for the last one for,
They got denied them
They did?
the last,
time?
Did they put them in capital last year?
Okay. So 3?
Yep.
Or 0? 3?
3,
Okay.
3.
2, 4,
9, 12.
7, 12.
so I think the next step would be obviously put these in order and then figure out what could qualify for the Plymouth County money before we start thinking of, right? Doesn't it make sense to kind of fill the Plymouth County spots since they have more restriction and then
Yeah.
take a look at the others?
Right.
You have 2 more to go.
Make sense? Oh, those ones I think we can score the same as
Okay.
the
What's
sign.
the
Was
score-
that what
what's
we
the-
were doing, or did we want to do those separate? The
Cent-
signs, I'm
Central-
sorry, did I jump the gun?
We have Central Elementary School, 54, 475.
Say all the signs are the same.
That's what I had
Yeah.
put, but I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah,
if-
we can
okay.
do that.
What's the number for
So
that?
they were 14.
14.
So next steps will be to determine which request can go through Plymouth County.
Yeah. I think concurrently, we could probably try to get at least one department in here to go through some of these. Or should we wait another meeting?
I'd rather wait just so that we make sure we have all our ducks in a row rather than have somebody come in and start stumbling through it. I'm open to,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
anyone else
And I
want
don't think we're not in a super time crunch.
the other side is bringing a small one in as a guinea pig or whatever and see how it goes. The other side of that coin. What does the group think?
I think the bigger ones.
Yeah, so you think wait till maybe do one more meeting and then try to set up with a,
No, I'm thinking like we should move forward and trying to get the Plymouth money.
oh, yeah, yeah. Then he was saying, if we should wait to talk with departments till we,
Oh, like the questions that we had when we were
Yeah.
going through this?
Right, we want to do that with
That wouldn't
each of
hurt.
the groups, but what I'm saying is, understand the rules completely before somebody comes in.
Right, yeah, yeah.
And stuff like,
right, so haven't,
So we'll have another meeting, Melanie can update us on what Plymouth, maybe Plymouth, someone can come even for the meeting,
that'd
who
be
knows?
nice.
We can go through that, and then we can determine who we want to come to the following meeting.
right? So you want to meet next week?
Do you think we could do another week in between, just if I'm going back and forth with them, that,
Yep, if that's what you want. I
little
mean,
more
you're doing
time.
all the legwork, so
but
you want to wait 2 weeks?
I just don't wanna put pressure on them either, so.
We could meet on Tuesday, the 11th, the day
Alright.
after Columbus Day.
Works, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, the 12th or the 11th.
The 11th.
Same time?
Yep, 6 o'clock.
It was like a finance committee meeting, Dan.
This one? I know, in the heat of budget season. Sometimes we go till 9.
Well,
Try not to.
anything else anyone wants to talk about tonight?
Pretty topped
Well,
out.
then I'll recommend we take a 20-minute break and come back. Okay, we'll take a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So approved. Thank you very much. We did get a lot done tonight.
Good.